Hello and welcome to Simple French Cooking. My name is Francois and today we are going uber classic. We will be making coq au vin, or chicken cooked in a red wine sauce. The recipe can be found in my cookbook called French Cooking for Beginner. This has got 75 great recipes that's going to help you cook like a true Frenchman. You can buy this on Amazon or you can buy it through my website at simplefrenchcooking.com. So join us today as we go deep into the heart of France. Coq au vin is as synonymous with French cooking as hamburgers are with American cooking. I mean, it's just the dish you're going to find all over France, everywhere. Everybody loves it. My mom used to make this all the time for me when I was a little kid. My mom worked 2 jobs as a nurse, and she didn't have a lot of time to be at home spending hours cooking, so she would make a batch of coq au vin on her weekend, and then we could eat it whenever we wanted to during the week. In fact, it's a dish that only gets better with age, much like myself. So coq au vin, for the very few of you that you have never heard of it or don't remember, is chicken that's braised slowly in a red wine, rich red wine sauce. You have pieces of bacon or lardon in there. You have little pearl onions, button mushrooms, super delicious, great served over mashed potatoes or roast potatoes. My favorite would be like making almost like a macaroni and cheese gratin, or even just simple buttered noodles, something starchy that's going to really soak up all those delicious juices. So let's get cracking. So the very first step we got to do is to cut our chicken into 8 equal pieces. So you're going to have your legs, you're going to have your thighs, your 2 chicken, well, here's the thigh, you're going to have your drumstick, your breast, and then we'll also have our wings. And then we're going to put it in a pot, and I did this already because this has got to marinate overnight for it to be delicious. So you're going to take your chicken, you're going to put it in a pot or a pan, you're going to cover it with a bottle of red wine, and then I put in some chopped up celery, carrots, and onion, and we're just going to let this marinate covered in your fridge overnight, at least 24 hours. Because if you notice how purpley this chicken is, it's just, soaked up all those delicious juices. So that is the first step. Step 2, we're going to take about 16 or 20 pearl onions and put them in a pot along with 1 quart of homemade chicken stock. And if you click in the links down below, I'll put a link to how to make homemade chicken stock. So we're just going to pour that in the pot. And we're just going to bring this to simmer. And we're going to simmer it until the onions are soft and you can take a knife and easily pierce it. It's about 20 minutes. I'm using cipollini onions, and what you're just looking for is small onions. I like cipollinis because they're really sweet. Most stores carry these. If you can't find fresh cipollini onions, you could either dice a regular onion. You can also go to the frozen section and usually find peeled pearl onions there, especially around Thanksgiving time. So anyways, we're going to bring this to a boil, let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so until the onions are soft. That is step 2. Step 3. We're going to take our slab bacon. You need about 1/4 pound, 4 ounces. And I like big hunks of bacon. I don't know, there's something about getting a big, chewy, fatty, crunchy, yummy bit of love like in each bite. You can cut it a little smaller if you like, but what I like at the end of the day is just nice big size cubes like this. And we're just going to drop them in our pan, and we're going to cook these slowly until they are nice and brown, crispy, and the fat has run out of them. Is there anything sexier than bacon cooking? No. Just, you know, be sure to cook your bacon over lower heat because we're looking for all the fat to come out and it to get crispy and not to burn. Step 4. We're going to take our button mushrooms and we're just going to clean them up. So if you have a brush, that works really great. You could take a cloth and wipe off the dirt, or last result, which I don't recommend, you could dip these into water and just rinse them really quick. The problem is they soak up a lot of water and you're adding more water to your dish, which is not what you want to do. And you should also trim the bottom of the mushroom stems right here. You can just take a paring knife and just cut like that, just till it's nice and beautiful, like that. Be sure to save these for when you make some chicken stock. If your mushroom is too big, like this guy right here, you could cut it in half, like that, or even quarter it if you prefer. It doesn't really matter, whatever works for you. Also, you know, traditionally this is made with button mushrooms. You could also use cremini mushrooms, or if you want to make it a little bit fancier, you can make this with morel mushrooms. Oh, and by the way, stay to the very end of the video because I'm going to teach you 2 different versions of coq au vin that you've never seen before. So stick to the very end of the video if you want to catch that. All right, next step. When your bacon is cooked, and look how beautiful this is. It's just nice golden brown. We got a lot of fat in there. It's going to be perfect. We're going to take our bacon, put it in a strainer here, and you want to save all this fat because this is what we're going to be browning our chicken in. This is what we're going to be browning our mushrooms. So strain these guys off. And then we're going to take our cleaned mushrooms and we're just going to drop it in the pan and saute it. In the meantime, you can put the bacon onto this paper towel to absorb any extra fat. And right now you're probably thinking like, why is he cooking all the garnishes separately? When you make coq au vin, you always half cook all your garnishes, and then we're going to add it about halfway through the cooking process. Because traditionally coq au vin was made with older chickens, and sometimes they took hours to stew. You know, nowadays most chickens you find in a grocery store, the coq au vin will cook in about 1 hour. And actually today, I am using Bluefoot chickens that are grown here in Washington State. So these are the famous, come from the same lineage as the famous poulet de Brest or the blue-footed chickens you see in Burgundy, France. These are just the most delicious chickens, but you know, feel free to use whatever you find in your grocery store. All right. And with the mushrooms, all we're doing is looking just to get them a little bit brown, just to saute. You know, remember they're going to cook a lot more later on. Look at that, so perfect. All right, let's check on our mushrooms. Oh, look at that, perfect. All right, so we're just going to strain these guys real quick. You can put your mushrooms in the same plate as your bacon. Just keep that ready. And you know, when the pearl onions are done, we're going to add them to the plate as well. So pour back any of the fat. Now it's time to brown our chicken. And so we're going to strain the marinade. So what we're looking to do is keep the liquid and keep the chicken pieces. So when you pull the chicken out of the marinade, you're going to want to pull off any bits of vegetable that are stuck to it. Just put those right in the strainer. All right. We're going to keep our marinade right there. Then let's just lay out all our chicken pieces here. All right, we got our chicken pieces laid out in front of us. And let's just season it up, and I like to use black pepper. Just keep it really simple. Black pepper, some salt, and that's about it. All right, next let's brown our chicken. So just after we've seasoned the chicken, we're going to put it in our bacon fat, skin side down, get it nice and brown on all sides. And if your pan's not too big, you really don't want to put too much in because you're going to lower the temperature of the fat, and then you're going to stew the chicken rather than give it a nice browning. So you might want to do it in batches. While our chicken is browning, let's check our pearl onions. Alright, so like I said, you just want to take a paring knife and stick it into your onion, and it should go into the onion really easily. When you get to that point, just pull all your onions out, put them on your plate with your other garnishes, and be sure to save this stock because we're going to be adding it to the red wine to braise the chicken in. Be sure and flip the chicken while you're cooking it so it browns on both sides. Oh my God, it smells so incredibly good in the house. I mean, look at this beautiful, beautiful chicken. So as soon as it's nicely brown, we're going to drop it into a Dutch oven where we're going to finish the cooking. You could do this all in one pan, but I think you're going to see why I like to do it in two. All right, and look in this pan, it's glistening, it's still got some of that beautiful fat in there. We're gonna add about a spoonful of flour. And what we're doing is we're just basically making a roux, and this is gonna give the coq au vin like beautiful body when you're cooking it. Just rub it in there, rub it in, mix it in with all the fat. And then right now I still have the heat off, which is fine. Pan's plenty hot enough still. We're gonna add about a quarter cup or so of cognac. You could use brandy, you don't have to use any of this. And what we're trying to do is just loosen up these brown little bits in this pan. I'm like sitting here drooling. Oh, it's the best thing in the world. Then we're gonna add our marinade. At this point, you can turn your pan back on again. And we're just going to give this all a good stir. And you know, just scrape to loosen up any of the little bits stuck to the bottom of the pan. Alright. And then we're also going to add the chicken stock that we cooked the onions in. And I know right now this doesn't look like a lot to you. It's just kind of looks like a blah sauce. But I'm going to promise you when we're all done with this, it's going to be incredible. Okay, and if you have a whisk, grab the whisk. Give it a good stir. We're trying to just break up any chunks of the roux that we made in there. And when you feel like you've scraped the pan down enough, we're going to put a strainer over our Dutch oven, and we're just going to take all of this liquid here and pour it through the strainer. And so all these little bits right here don't end up in your beautiful sauce in the oven. All right, to this, we're going to add a bay leaf, a big bunch of thyme, and then we're just going to let this braise slowly. Now, if you're cooking just a standard chicken you're going to find in most American grocery stores, I would cook it about half an hour before you add your garnish. Since we are using a older hen, and it's also a bluefoot chicken, which tends to be a little bit, needs a little bit longer cooking time, I'm going to check this in about 45 minutes. I'll be back. See you then. All right, welcome back. This is cooked now for about an hour. About halfway through, I added the onions, the bacon, and the mushrooms. Let's check it out, see how it looks. Oh my God. I swear I'm drooling. Smells so freaking delicious. I cannot wait to eat this. Let's check it out. All right. So the chicken is looking great, super tender. The garnishes are still maintaining their shape. You know, that's the thing. If you put everything in too soon, the mushrooms and stuff might break down and fall apart. Let's give the juice a little bit of a taste. Tastes so good. So the only thing I'd say now is, you know, the broth is a little bit thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything out and reduce this by 50%. That's going to take, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And then the sauce will be ready. So let's reduce it. Wow, is the coq au vin smelling so good. You know, and look at the sauce. I've cooked it down so much. I don't know if you can see that. It's just really rich and you just have the taste of the red wine, the chicken that's slowly cooked in there, the mushrooms with the bacon. And so for serving, I would just take a piece, make sure you get some of the accompaniments. Important to get a bunch of the sauce. Get that there. A little bit of parsley. And then let's finish it with just a little bit of pasta that I cooked with just a touch of cream and just a little bit of cheese. Almost like a gratin. And these kind of noodles just really work well. They soak it up. Mashed potatoes are perfect. Roast potatoes. You know, just anything kind of rich. All right, let's give this a try. Wow, is that delicious. This is one of my favorite dishes. I mean, coq au vin is one of the iconic French dishes of classical cuisine. You'll find this as much in restaurants as you will sitting on somebody's Sunday lunch table. Give this recipe a try. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell if you want notifications when new videos come out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Hey, don't go anywhere. I told you, if you stayed to the very end, I had a surprise for you. So coq au vin is one of those great foundational dishes, and there's three. I know I told you two before, but there's three variations you should know about. So the first one is coq au Riesling. So instead of red wine, you take a nice white Riesling, and you finish the sauce with about a half a cup of cream. So follow the exact same recipe, substitute the Riesling for the red wine, and then add a half cup of cream or creme fraiche at the very end. It's delicious. You're gonna love that. It's a wonderful variation. Two more variations for you. The French also make poulet au bière. So pick your favorite beer whatsoever, a nice delicious IPA, whatever you like, and substitute that for the red wine. So for your beer drinkers, that's your braised chicken dish. And then the very last, right now it's fall. I got these beautiful pumpkins behind me. And you can braise the chicken in apple cider. It's epic. I would also add half cup of cream or creme fraiche at the very end just to make it that much richer. So thanks for staying to the very end. Now to the closing video.